What is going on, guys? Dork Gaming here, and welcome to DG's News. If you didn't know what DG's News is so far, well, it's basically where I sit down and talk to you. So, in this video, I'm only going to talk about one thing, and that one thing is very important for the future of the channel. I am quitting Warframe. I have finally decided to do so. Whether or not I'm still gonna be playing it is very much so doubtable. But basically what I want to get to is many reasons of which I am going to quit Warframe for, but if you want the TLDR version, there is many things that I am not pleased about with the game, and I've been around in the game for long enough to where I believe I have a say-in as to whether or not these things should have been in the game so far, or should have they been removed a long time ago. Let's start off with the major thing that kills this game for me, which is the grind. Warframe grind is basically like trying to grind a grindstone on a grindstone. It's that confusing enough? Well, that's Warframe in short for me. Because some things are like RNG stacked on top of RNG on top of RNG. It's just RNG everywhere, is what I'm trying to get at. And one of those things is Rivens. Rivens is basically stacks on tops of stacks of RNG. Rivens are RNG for the sortie. Say, though, you remove the sortie because it's too easy for you, and so you can always do it, which is a case for me. But say you get to do sorties daily and you have no issue with that. It's an RNG whether or not you get a Riven. It's RNG whether or not you get the Riven that you want. It's RNG whether or not you get the stats that you want. And it's RNG whether or not your reroll's gonna get those stats that you want. RNG enough for you? Sure, it's not the only game that does that, but I feel like Warframe is one of those games that should definitely improve on this thing. Another thing that is highly RNG based, vaults. And I'm talking about Orokin Derelict vaults that give you corrupted mods. There's some corrupted mods that I never got, and I never will get, just because they're so hard to get. The drop chance on each corrupted mod is actually the same, but this brings me into a system that I want implemented, which is a system that allows you not to get everything, or basically the same thing over and over again. And a very good example of that is right here. You see these 8 Anasas? These are my last 8 sorties. Yes, I am one of those victims that suffers from Anasa over Anasa over Anasa. At one point, I suffered from lenses. I had so many lenses, I had nothing to do with them. But at this point, I am on a freaking drought with lenses, but I'm like, just freaking Anasas everywhere. And it's bad, because I keep getting the same thing over and over again, and it kind of drops the incentive of me wanting to play the game and continue trying to farm. And the farm is real. To get some things, you need to farm this game to beyond extent of craziness. That's bad, obviously. But let's leave the RNG behind and let's go on to something else, the community. I'm not that big in terms of community. I am a community-based player. I do like playing with people that I know, that I can chat with. But if I don't know that person, and for some reason that person is cursing at me, that instantly tells me this community is bad. And this is highly the case in Warframe, where if you ever tried to be in trade chat lately, it can be pretty bad at some points. Where, as an example, I tried to sell an Azima Riven, and the guy just told me to fuck off because I had a very high price, as an example, for that Riven. And this is actually legit. This did happen to me. It's just some things really make an image for the game, and the community for Warframe is one of those occasions. Another thing is bugs. There are some bugs in this game that literally should not be in here. There's bugs that need to be fixed immediately, but they're still there. And I've been fed up long ago with these bugs, and I've just been casually waiting for them to be fixed. Nothing. They're still there. Some of these bugs are game breaking, some of them are just merely annoying. Either way, they're bugs, and I feel like bug smashing is what DE should be mostly focused for. Now, I don't want you to just basically be sitting there or looking at my Ivara, so let me just do this sortie on screen for you guys. But personally, I find that the community has become very toxic over time. Going back to when I joined the game, the community was very helpful. It still is to some extent, but the toxicity is increasing, and I don't like that, because a toxic community is a community that I don't want to be a member of.
That is vital to our operations.
Moving on now from that fact, I want to talk about balance. Some weapons are highly unbalanced and are not even worth using. Example, per se, the newer weapon that came out a little while ago, Cycron. The Cycron secondary was a very terrible weapon. It was a beam weapon, which was reason enough for it to be terrible to begin with, but its stats were basically piss poor anyways. I'm not gonna blame anyone in specific for the weapon being bad. I'm going to just say the DE should be more careful on how they make weapons, because they need to be balanced. Some weapons are highly unbalanced and are not even worth using. Some are just that good that you should never let go of them. Example given, the Tsar. The Tsar is a very good weapon that you should never let go of. As a matter of fact, I use it a lot. And the reason that I use it is just because it's such a good weapon. And there's no reason for me not to use it. Now, there's one last thing that I want to mention, which is data mining. Yes, I am informed of the data mining of that was going on and the whole dealio that occurred lately. And if you're not aware, I'd suggest you go somewhere else to find out about it, because I don't want to talk about it here. But data mining is a very crucial thing about every game. It allows the community to know whether or not the developer of the game is actually being straight up and honest with the community. And I feel like Digital Extremes should be okay with data mining. Sure, the data mining does bring some bad things like leaked content, such as Excalibur Umbra as an example, or stats for new primes or new weapons. And I don't like that. I personally do not like that. The whole thing that occurred with the data miners. Simply because you are kind of like banning data mining. But there's no real point in doing that, because here's the thing. If your player base wants to know about something, and data miners upload that something, they're gonna find out. You're not gonna stop them. But if they don't want to find out, they'll stay loyal to you, and they won't take a look. And I feel like if you don't want to learn about the new stuff that's coming up next, you won't look at the data mined. It's easy as that to me. But I digress. Some people may have a varying opinion to that matter. So, it is what it is. But anyway, I've been talking and rambling on about basically things that I don't want to anymore. So, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like. If you didn't, please do give it a dislike. And if you enjoyed it that much that you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing. This won't be the last video that I'll upload on Warframe. I may upload occasionally Warframe videos here and there. I will upload one more video for sure on Warframe, but from here on out I'll be focusing on other games. And this helps me a lot, really, because I've been playing Warframe for a long time, and this makes it easier for me to basically not have to worry about that. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. I hope that this rant was not too long for you, and if you did go all the way to the end, give yourself a thumbs up from me.